Hello there, folks. Right, a serious one, this one, folks. I would suggest the biggest news of the day is the naming of the child killers, the boy and girl that killed Brianna. They were named today, as was promised, and they've been given the sentences today. I think one got 22 years minimum, one 20 years minimum. More about that in a moment. But the big talking point then, 2 or 3 shows that I've seen, is should the children have been named? I believe they'd have been named anyway at 18, but they're saying should they be named this early? Now, I did a video on it a few weeks ago. Many of you will have seen. I always think it was a yes. I was glad that they did. I thought it was only right and proper. That was my opinion. I've seen none of the news today. I've not had a chance to see the news yet. I honestly don't know. I believe the people's names was on social media. I never seen them. I don't do social media. I've even been told by a friend of a friend that one of the killers was, I think the girl killer, was a daughter of one of the teachers at the school that Brianna went to. I don't know if that's the truth or not. As I said, I've not seen the news yet, so I don't know if that's true. Maybe it isn't, maybe it is. I don't know. Don't know anything about the killers, but I'm going to look at it later when I get this recording done, because it's a case that has taken my interest very, very much, because I live in Warrington anyway, and I think the whole thing was appalling. Yes, I believe they should have been named. Maybe not absolutely in all cases, but I believe they should have been named because I think the murder was appalling. It was 100% premeditated. They had written lists of what they were going to do and how they were going to do it, and code words and so on and so forth. They tried to hurt the young girl earlier, a few weeks before, with giving her drugs that she didn't know she was taking. So they wanted to harm the girl. They had a kill list with others on there anyway. Brianna just ended up being the unfortunate one. I think they did right to name the names. I may be wrong, but I think they did right. On one of the talk shows today, I heard somebody defending the right to anonymity, and he did it really well. He was a barrister, I think he was, and he spoke really eloquently and really well, and it even had me doubting myself for a short while. I thought, yeah, I know where you're coming from there. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that, and I agree with that. And then at the end of it all, I thought to myself, no. Don't get soft, Grumpy. Don't get soft. What they did was appalling. It was premeditated. It was all planned. They knew what they was going to do. They took delight in doing it. They took delight in talking about it for weeks and weeks before. They didn't just plan it. They delighted in talking about it. So no, I think they did right to name them. That's number one. But number two, I'm dropping the other half off, the wife off earlier. She's gone out for the night, and I'm in the car, and I've heard the back end of the news on the radio. So I might have misheard this, but I don't think I did. So I'm going to air what I think I heard and my thoughts. You may have heard it yourself. I may be wrong. So if I am, I'm sorry. But I think the judge has said one of them has got 20 years minimum and one 22. I think it might be the young girl that got 20, whichever way, it doesn't really matter. But I think she said, and say it was 20, she said, and you're going to do 20 years, but be aware, we may extend that, you may do more than that, because we believe you're still thinking and talking about killing others, or something like that, or you've still got thoughts about killing others. And I thought to myself, well, for me, it should have been a whole life sentence. They both should never have come out. I said that weeks ago, and I really stand by that. I really believe that. They were of an age and old enough to know what they were doing. Forget the fact they've got ADHD and whatever else they've got. They knew it was wrong. They wanted to kill. I thought it should have been a whole life. And when I heard that today on the radio, if I heard rightly, I thought even more so. And I'm thinking, how can any judge say you're going to serve this length of time, but because you're still thinking of killing others and it still interests you, you may serve longer if we can't reform you? I'm thinking, is that not crazy? You had them 2 killers of young James, was it James Bulger? Now, one of them's still out. One of them came out and has offended twice. Only looking at things online he shouldn't be looking at. I say only. I know he shouldn't be doing it. He's the right to have gone back in. He should never have come out. But the first time he went back in, that should have been it for good. He's been out twice now and been back in for doing things he shouldn't do. That guy in the end has got a problem. That guy could do something similar to what he did to James Bulger all those years ago. If this girl has been part of a murder of young Brianna, who's done nothing to nobody and hasn't deserved it, if she's been a part of that, and he's still thinking of further down the line murder, that's telling you there's something really, really missing here. And no amount of therapy is going to get that girl right. She should never come back on our streets. If she gets back on the streets, what's to say in 20 or 22 years' time, or 23 or 24, she's not going to do something similar again? And then what we're going to say when we put her back in? Well, we thought she was reformed. We thought she was okay. Some other mother or father could lose another child further down the line because we're putting it back out in society. if you can get the girl right, then fine. But I don't know. You can. If somebody can do that to a young Brianna and still be thinking of death and murder, there's something seriously wrong there. And I mean, seriously wrong. Now, as I say, I might be talking crap. 'Cause I might have heard it wrong on the radio, but I'm pretty sure I never. The video's going to go out there anyway because I do it as I see it and what I think I hear. But I always do a disclaimer, and that's the disclaimer. I'll listen tonight when I listen to the news, and I'll see if that was actually what's been said. I'm sure it was. But if it was, I'm thinking, how can they even think of letting somebody out after doing that to another human being and still have them thoughts? I just, honestly, sometimes words, and I can talk a lot, folks, sometimes words fail me. They really, really do. I don't know. Let me knock this one off.